We put the love back in your right. It's love in black and white.
And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Love in Black and White. I am your co-host, Manny Martin, with the one, the only Jason Jerome J. Hollingsworth. That is right. That is his black name that I have now given him.
I have a black middle name and then a black initial on after it, Jerome J.
Jerome J.
Jason Jerome J. Hollingsworth,
Jerome
Esquire at the end.
That's right. God damn it. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are here doing it big this week. We are just gonna jump straight into it. We're gonna help you with all your love and questions that you may have in life, and how to approach those love scenarios from both a married standpoint and from just a dating standpoint. And that's what we do. We put the love back in you, and we put it in your right. So
it's Love in Black and White. Real quick, I tossed this on here on our topics, Manny, at the end. We've talked about before on the podcast about deal breakers and deal makers. I don't know if I had mentioned this before as a deal breaker, but it came up recently. So I am this is a 100% deal breaker. I am allergic to cigarette smoke.
Yep.
So I cannot date someone that is a cigarette smoker because so what happened is I was in Oklahoma City. Now I think it was 2 weeks ago, and this is going to be I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible to get why I'm bringing all this shit up. But I was in Oklahoma City. I walked through people smoking outside to get into the club. Did my shows all weekend and everything. This last week, started feeling a little bit like, am I getting sick? So went and got a COVID test. Haven't got the results back yet. I should get those probably in the next day or two. Feel totally fine. But there was a day that I felt just kind of off, and it's so many things it could have been. It could be COVID, and maybe that's how I respond to it. Could be I went on the keto diet and you have the keto flu, or it was the exact way I feel when I've been around cigarette smoke or kissed somebody that smokes. Whenever I get that, or I get a waff of cigarette smoke, a few days after that I start feeling, it's a weird thing. Like my nose isn't plugged up, I'm not coughing, I don't have a sore throat, but my I get like a little bit of a headache, and I up here, your sinuses feel like they're plugged almost, and you feel like you're starting to get sick.
Yeah.
So that I remembered that, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. That's a 100% deal breaker for me. I can't date, if you smoke weed, I don't give a shit. It's weed, crack, meth, that's all cool. It's just the fucking cigarette smoke. Or you can smoke this cock. All right. But it's so fucking dumb. No, but cigarette smoke, I'm just, that's a 100% deal breaker for me. So that's all. I just want
to. I mean, it is hard. I remember one time being around a girl who, she didn't necessarily smoke, but she was in casinos a lot. And that smoke used to carry on her clothes. First off, she probably had a gambling addiction, which is horrible. You know what I mean?
Or she was a hooker. Yeah, there you go. Please.
Yes, here on Love in Black and White, we just want to make sure that we don't hate on sex workers. That it's an honest living, and
not really, but I mean,
oh yeah, as long as it's okay in your state and you're safe and you're practicing safe sex, we're all for it. So yeah.
I love we got to think of a name since you're PC Manny. I'm not non-PCJ, but it should be something where I'm like the yin to your yang or the yang to your yin, whatever.
We can call you, as the ladies call him, BCJ, which is Big Cock J. That's so dumb.
What? Oh, so finish what you're saying though. So she was trying to get Johns in the casinos,
and I mean, she just reeked of cigarette smoke, and it's just one of those things, man, where it's even when it carries on your clothes, it's so it's first off, it's cigarettes to me are a turnoff. But it's just when you carry that stench on your clothes, I mean, if you smoke weed, whatever, but I'm also I don't want to smell weed on you. I don't want to smell like a pothead all the time.
That's what I'm mentioned this before. Our buddy Sean smokes cigarettes, and I know he consciously makes sure that he doesn't smell like cigarettes, but it's crazy. I have never had been around him. I lived with him, and I've been around him for 12 years or whatever, and dude, never smells like cigarettes, dude. you'd have no idea. His breath doesn't stink, none of that shit.
Yeah, even in West Seattle. I mean, his house never smelled like cigarettes. I didn't even know he smoked for the longest time. So I mean, yeah, kudos to him. Like, you're not trying hard enough if you smell like cigarette smoke, motherfuckers. So just putting that out there.
I mean, he does smoke cock. Just kidding. Put that out there. Start a rumor the McCannibal is McCockable. Another I had one other deal breaker. And this is without. I think you might. I think we've talked about this before, Manny, just in our personal lives.
Yes.
Just me and you. So my dad is I guess you would say he's a functioning alcoholic. He puts them back. Like it's pretty crazy with this Corona thing. My dad is not tech savvy. He has a flip phone. So I was freaking out like with this whole thing for my dad because he can't use Uber Eats. He can't use Uber. He can't use anything that you use your phone. So he still goes to the store and shit like that. But he told me this was crazy to me. I don't know if I told you this, Manny. My dad goes to the bars all the time, drinks all the time. And he told me that he always kind of I had never known this, but he had a rule that he wouldn't drink at home. He wouldn't drink like hard alcohol at home. And he said for the first time, I think he said in 15 years, because of the pandemic, he cracked open a bottle at home because he can't go to the bars now and shit. And I was like, that's crazy. But, because of all this though, I say this to say that I can't be like, if you are I guess if you can handle your alcohol, I'm fine with that, but I cannot, and I can't be around someone that can't handle their alcohol or is a drunk a lot. And and especially too, like if I don't know, it's a certain vibe that somebody will have when they're drunk that it does a thing to me that I recognize it. It's a weird thing when somebody's at a level of drunkenness and they're not making sense, or I don't know how to explain it, but something happens to me where it switches and I get a feeling almost of like claustrophobic, where even if I'm just talking to you on the phone, I got to get off the phone. I don't want to talk to you when you're drunk. I don't want to, and then you get the drunk that'll be like, well, just why? Why? And then, or they start, fine, then just don't ever call me again. And I will just be like, okay, because I just want to get off the phone. It's a weird feeling. God, just talking about it, I'm getting hot thinking about it. Like, and I've had that where I'll be at a bar and I remember one of my birthdays. I know you're about to jump in, Manny, and I keep cutting you off, but one of my birthdays when I was living in Oregon, it might have been my 30th birthday. My buddies all took me out and we had been drinking, and this had happened to me. This happens to me every once in a while, or did back when I was going to bars. Something would happen and I would just be like, whether I was sober or drunk, and I would just be like, I got to get out of here. I can't be around this. And so I didn't tell I did a total Irish goodbye. I didn't tell any of my buddies. I got on the fucking Max in Portland, somehow got back to my place, and not even back to my place. I got off it and then I was lost. And so I just laid down on like one of those giant fans. Oh God, yes. My buddy calls me. He's like, where are you at? And I'm like, I just took the Max home. He's like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know how to get home. And I was literally like 100 yards. But that's a deal breaker for me is not if you drink. If you drink or you're a social drinker, but if you can't handle your alcohol, like I got fucked up on Tahir's Zooming with the homies, and I was not proud of that. But and I think we've talked about this before though, Manny. Are you the same? Excuse me. Are you kind of the same?
Yeah. So I'm actually the same because my dad was very similar where he would drink all the time. So social occasions. And then I think as I got older, it started being like every evening. And it just is that it's a really uncomfortable feeling of having just people like they feel like they're too much, and it gives me anxiety. Like, so if I was interested in you and you're just wasted and you're just like, oh my God, and it's, I start like going into my like hole. I'm like, I got to get away from you. You're being obnoxious. But there's something of being the child of like alcoholism that makes you not want to be that. And my dad was just like notorious for drinking. He was a nice alcoholic. He wasn't like mean or anything, but it was always like he was trying to make a joke, and I'm like, I don't get it. That's not funny,
Dude, dude, we are such a kindred spirit, dude. Yeah. I know you know this, but little thing for the listeners. I'm a light sleeper for weird things, and I know it's because of my pop. So I could have construction going on outside my window and I could probably sleep through that. But if I heard the doorknob just go, I'll wake up. And
Yeah.
I know it comes from when I was in high school, and my dad was the same thing. Like my dad was never violent. I mean, there was a couple times he might have been a little bit verbally abusive, but I think I was at an age, luckily, that I knew it was kind of like, oh, that's the alcohol talking. Don't fucking trip off of it. But I remember in high school, I would, my dad was a longshoreman, and he'd have weird hours, and then he would go drink at night, and then it would be 1 or 2 in the morning. I can remember it so vividly. We lived in these apartments, Forest Hills apartments, off of Sylvan Avenue, I think, right by Wilson High School. But I would hear him come down these little stairs, because where my bedroom was, to the left of me was a wall that the stairs were at. So I would hear him come down the stairs. I'd hear him put his key in the door. I'd hear him open the door. I'd hear him walk to my bedroom door. Sometimes he would just walk to the door and not do anything. Sometimes he would open the door and I know he would just kind of look at me, say nothing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he would be like, I mean, granted, I was fucking up in school, but he would, sometimes he would be, start talking while he was hammered and just be like, what the fuck are you doing? Jesus, Jason, you gotta get your shit together, all this blah, 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 and so I know because of that, I'm a light sleeper for weird things,
Yeah, same here. So my dad, exact same. Like he would
come in and go, Jason, you got to get your shit together.
He would come home and he would just he would open the door and just stare at me, just and I would just pretend like I'm asleep, because I was like, I don't want to have a conversation right now, I'm fucking tired. Or he would come home and he would fuck with me, and he would turn on the light, turn it off. He'd be like, buddy Bo, wake up, buddy Bo. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? You think he was funny? And I'm just like,
it's dude, you can't talk to a drunk. They're not going to remember what they're talking about or what you're saying to them. And then it's the worst. If you're interacting with a person of the opposite sex or whatever, someone you're dating, and then they're like, oh, talk to me, let's talk about it. And you're like, no, you're not going to it's not going to register. You're not going to remember this tomorrow. So no. And then so that's a deal breaker. I guess a sloppy drunk is a good way to put it.
And this was crazy, because I remember one time me and Crystal were kind of having a little tiff, and we had
you brought another girl in the room, a Tiffany? having a little tiff. She was also a little person.
She said, hey, bitch.
Why would she have that voice, Manny? You better PC Manny that.
We were in.
Oh, you're freezing. Oh God, you're freezing, Manny. You're what? You're starting to come back. Okay, you're back.
Okay, Jesus, do we got to edit that? I don't know.
I didn't hear what. Go ahead. Bring PC Manny back.
We don't think that all here on Love It Black and White, we just want to say all little people don't have tiny voices, but we have seen movies
but they are tiny dancers.
We just want to say here on Love It Black and White, from what we have seen in the movie Austin Powers, little mini me, he had a little voice, so that was the impression that we were going for. We don't say all little people have that voice, because we know some little people have deep voices, I don't know.
You might say they're low. Look to the ground. All right, sorry.
Oh yeah.
My buddy Dre the Giant, shout out to him. They'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
But Crystal's friend had called me up, and she was wasted, and she was like, Manny, you gotta fucking man up and this and that. And I was just like, what the fuck? And she just was literally she kept picking on me. And I was like, she's like, are you gonna fucking hang up on me? Are you gonna hang up on me? I was like, yes, I'm going to hang up. And it was the worst, man. When you're a drunk, especially when you're an aggressive drunk, I can't fucking do it. It's just
sloppy drunks.
It's a deal breaker for me, and along with the cigarette smoke, I can't fucking do it. So,
sorry, I'm replying to this text real quick.
But another thing that I wanted to actually bring up, and this was what we talked about last week. Wanted to jump straight into it with.
Oh yeah.
So, emotional cheating, physical cheating, and how far is it? Or was that where we were?
Yeah, levels of cheating. Like what do you consider cheating? What if we both were like, Well, as comics, you laugh at another man's joke, it's over.
Exactly. That's
You
your
better
one.
tell him. You better straight face him and be like, "That shit's corny." Yeah. So, I'm sure listeners to this, many listeners, you have day job. I've had day job, or
Yep.
I don't know. I'm talking like a caveman. I've had day job. Shout out to all the cavemen out there.
There
But yeah, like, you have work relationships. And so, I mean, we kind of talked about a little bit something like this, a scenario where, if there was a dude at work that was, something, but I'm wondering, like, okay, we'll start with this. Like, what do you consider cheating, Manny? Like, what level? Holding hands, kissing, going up more and more to that. And what's the level that you can't come back from for you?
Yeah. I mean, like holding hands would be kind of weird, if you just see your girl holding, her coworker's hand, you're just like, that's kind of weird. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but I'm just there's something that's weird. Why would you fucking do that? Kissing would definitely be weird, with a coworker, because definitely an HR violation. I'm like, what the fuck are you kissing Tom for? That's some weird shit. So that's maybe one that you couldn't walk back as much. I mean, we could deal with it, but
okay, here we'll do scenario. Corporate party, whatever. Crystal works. She works at a huge company, Fortune 500. But the team she works within is 10 people. They're a pretty close team. You have the Christmas party. Everybody's there. Manny, this is Sarah. Oh, nice to meet you, Sarah. Yeah, Crystal's told me about you. I know you're in finances. Bob. Oh, hey, Bob. And then you said Tom. So I don't want to do Tom because fucking Kev does this. Hey, Tom. We'll say Jerome J.
Okay.
No. So this guy, Frank. We'll just say him Frank. So this is Frank. This is the guy I was telling you about, Frank, that sits next to me, Manny. And you're like, oh, Frank, I hear you're hilarious. Crystal tells me you always crack her up, brighten her day. Great to meet you. Night goes on, everybody's drinking or whatever. You're at the punch bowl and you see, 30 yards away, Frank and Crystal kind of in a corner, and like, we'll say that he leans in and kisses her. So he initiates it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't immediately push back. She kind of takes the kiss.
Yeah.
20 seconds. And then after they get done kissing, they separate, but they don't do it in a sense where she's like, what do you don't see her body language being like, what are you doing? You got to stop that. She's just like, okay, we got to go, stop. How do you, but it was just a kiss.
Oh shit.
Yeah. God, I paint a good picture, huh?
Really
Can you feel that fucking rage boiling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like flipping a table or some shit. You know what I mean? Or I'm seeing at least in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, man, that would be one where it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna make a scene here, but I was like, as soon as she comes back, it was like, are you gonna pretend like that shit just didn't happen over there? And she was like, no, that wasn't. I'd be like, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I'm done here. Are you coming with me? We're leaving now. And then we'd have the conversation.
God, what if she was like, no, I'm going to stay. Oh my God. You'd be like, well, you can stay here with these divorce papers.
Exactly. I think you have to at that point, because if it was like, I'm not leaving, that they're not even respecting your feelings in that moment. So, you'd have to be done. But I'm not the kind of person who's going to make a scene in the middle of the place. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
You would nice Manny would apologize to her. Hey, I don't know what I did that made you run to Frank's arms, but I'm sorry. I know I must have done something wrong.
All right, here we go. Same scenario.
Okay.
But you've been dating for roughly about 3-4 months, and holiday party, and you see this happen, and she's like, so I'll be the girl. You go ahead and tell me what you would say.
What's up, girl? Oh, sorry. I've already seen this. Hey, bitch. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's just fucking. Or I could go the other way and be like, hey, my Nubian queen, may I speak to you, please? No. Hold on, because before we do me, whoa. There was something else I wanted to say on your scenario. Okay, so she says, you say, we got to go. She says, yes. So you're in the car and you're talking about it now. I want to get to,
Oh, okay.
How do you get to a place where you forgive that, or do you not?
Yeah, I don't know if I could forgive that. I mean, like, I saw your intentions with that, and you weren't
I'm
even
sure you'd be like, is this the first time you guys have kissed? That's probably
exactly.
going to be the first thing, right?
Tell you what, that drive home is gonna be like Martin Lawrence. You remember that shit? And when he was in his comedy special, when he was in the club in his pajamas, he's like,
yeah.
and then she driving home and shit all mad.
Oh.
But yeah, I literally, it would probably definitely be a drive home, quiet. I'm not gonna say shit because
You wouldn't talk about it right then, immediately. As soon as you get in the car, you wouldn't be like, yo, what the fuck? You'd be like,
no, I wouldn't even want to talk. Like I would just be like,
seething.
see, yeah, that's how hot I would be, and I would literally drive home. We would get there, and then it's like, part of me is like, would I even talk to her when I get home? I probably just go slam the door and go in a room. You know what I mean? And then, but that's not healthy, So it's like, I think once we got home, then it would be the discussion of like, so what the fuck was that shit about? And then you would have to break down from there, and it's either couples counseling or done.
Okay, so yeah, and she tells you that was the first time, but
Yeah.
but you also know now. Also, dude, because I know how I am, and I know how guys think. So in that scenario, I'm sure if you see her kiss this dude, then immediately you're gonna walk it back. That's the fucking term I'm looking. Jesus, I'm an idiot. But you would start thinking about all the time she was like, "Oh, Frank's so funny, and Frank sits next to me, and he, every day he gives me a joke."
Yep.
And so now then you're like, was it the fucking first time? Was it really, dude? Oh man.
I think you're always gonna have it in the back of your mind if something like that happens, right? And it's like, even if they tell you it was just one time and it meant nothing, you're always going to be asking yourself, like, is that real? Am I being lied to? Is it the truth? You know what I mean? And yeah, fuck, man, that would be one that you either got to go to couples counseling and address
lie
it.
detector.
Exactly, right. You got to go on Maury and fucking test. But I really think that as a couple, depending on how long you've been together, I think that if you're willing to address it and deal with it via a couples counseling thing, and you're willing to get past it, then you got to let it go. But if you're gonna have it in the back of your mind, I think it's better to just end it and just be like, look, there's something there where you want more. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a buddy of ours who, I think his wife or his significant other wanted like more of an open relationship, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's always going to be in the back of your mind. And so it's like, if this is something that they want, I'd say just let it go.
I'd be like, hey, so let me have you come over here on the computer here. Yeah. So this screen here, this is to sign up for our couples counseling, right? And then this screen here, this is Monster, so you can find a new fucking job because you're not working with that motherfucker anymore.
Dude, and that's the thing. It's like, God, can you imagine that? Like, okay, if your lady, you guys were together, say for like a year.
Okay.
And she's making 200 grand.
Oh,
and you know what I mean? And you guys are living good. And, this is the first hiccup that you've ever had. I mean, how do you deal with that? Do you ask her to leave the job?
Well, so a couple things. Money, I know you're the same. Money, how much my girl makes or whatever has no bearing whatsoever on my feelings for her or concern. I always say, as long as she has goals, she can, if whatever she does, she can work construction or she could be the CEO. I as long as she's a good person, that's all that matters. No, but I don't give a fuck about the money, so the money wouldn't matter to me. But this same scenario, girl I've been dating for a year, I love her. We live together at this point. Yeah, and I'd see okay, so I just see it. I'm at the punch bowl, I see her. She's about to get a punch bowl. I'm just kidding. EC, please cover that up.
Here on Love in Black and White, we just want to say, a lot of times as comedians, we make little jokes. We would never put our hands on anyone in any way, shape, or form. So just let you know, women, Jay has never put his hands on women. I've never put my hands on women. So,
well, I mean, I put my hands on some women, but not in
caressing
them. Yeah. But okay, so I'm trying to put my mind there and put myself there. Oh fuck, dude! I can just this is going to go into another segment that I added on there, or section or question. She walks over. I'd be like, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's probably be my first response, to be like, yo, what the fuck? And then she and she's probably drunk a little bit or tipsy. I'd be like, I don't know, and whatever. And be like, hey, I got to get the fuck out of here. That's my first thing. So one thing about me is it takes a lot for me to get mad. Like, I mean, it's rare that I get like mad. When I do get mad, I get quiet. I need to get away. Yeah, I need time to cool off. I don't want to talk. I just got to get the fuck away. So my first response is like, I need to get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this dude. I mean, because also I don't know. This guy may know that she's in a committed relationship and doesn't give a fuck. Then that's disrespect to me. Or he may not know. I don't know what she's told him. Right. She may have told him, oh, he's my cousin, or maybe we're in the breaking up, or whatever the fuck it is. Right. He's my light-skinned cousin. But I would be like, we need to get the fuck out, or I need to get the fuck out of here. And same thing, I'd be like, are you coming with me or not? And then if she's like, I'd be like, this is a major decision you need to make right now. As far as if you're not coming with me, then that's on you. But I would be the same in the car.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would probably be trying to explain, and I'd probably be saying, hey, let's talk about this tomorrow, because I'm like just seeing red, and I'm not. This isn't going to register right now. Yeah. So and then the next day when we talk about it, if she's like, I swear to you, we've never done anything before. I don't know what came. I would probably be like, well, do you have a thing for this guy? Right. Like, are you attracted to this dude? Do you feel something's missing from this that you, or was it a thing where dude, it's tough, especially again for me, like I've talked about on the podcast before. Like if I feel like somebody's done me wrong, my first thing is to shut down and be like, all right, good luck, see ya.
Exactly.
So, but okay. Like at that point, it's here we go, level 2.
This was a real scenario that I lived through with a buddy of mine, and his I think it was girlfriend at the time. They're now married. But we went to a house party for Halloween, and we're all downstairs, we're all kicking it. And then at some point she disappears with 2 other girls in the night, and she's upstairs in the bathroom with them, and they're all kind of fooling around. And he's like, yo, have you seen so-and-so? And I was like, nah, man. And so he goes up, and all I hear upstairs is, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Like, get your shit, we're fucking going. And then he's like, yo, Manny, let's go. I'm like, well, I was having a good, get the fuck in the car. So, you're like, oh my, are we fucking? So, I mean, okay, so that scenario happens. You catch your girl in there. She's pretty drunk with 2 other girls. They're clearly doing stuff. You don't know what. And then you bounce, and your boy's in the car with you, and your girl's in the car too, drunk. How would you deal with it?
Okay, so is the girl in the car also that was up there cheating on him?
No, so just his girl, the one who was cheating on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Now are you asking me how do I handle that as the friend, or how I handle it as the guy if I find out my girl's... Okay.
Yeah.
If my girl's, if my girl's in another pond, trying to get some fish. I mean, it would be the same thing, because I don't. Whatever any person is into, I don't give a fuck. As far as like, but with my circle, my relationship, I don't want you cheating on me with anybody, guy, girl, fucking non-binary, whatever the fuck, or whoever the fuck, they, them.
Right.
By the way, if you fuck a person that identifies as they, them, is that a threesome?
I just want to say here on Love in Black and White that we support all non-gender binary, people, and that I don't even know.
I love it.
We're growing and learning the terms of everybody and everything, and we respect you, whatever you want to be, they, them, he, she, whatever you would like. We're for it.
Yes. Yeah, what Manny said. No, 100%. Yeah, like I don't. I like whatever you're into, cool, and I'm sure I would know that ahead of time. So maybe you in college I was experimenting, cool, but I'm strictly dickly now. I'm like, well, I got one of those, so we're good. No, I I would not be cool with my girl cheating on me with, it wouldn't make it any less for me. It's cheating's cheating. Yeah. But what about like, and I don't even know how you would qualify the emotional cheating. I mean, I know I've heard the term and stuff. I guess so. The scenario, Frank, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I don't know if I totally answered your question. So I would handle it pretty much the exact same way I handled how she was with the guy.
Right.
Here's a scenario. The Frank guy, she's telling you they haven't had sex, they haven't kissed or anything like that. He's not gay, he is straight. Mm-hmm. And she's told you that he's straight. It's not like she's like, oh, he's gay, don't worry about it. So she's like, he's straight. And she's always telling you they get along so great, and they have not done anything sexual, but she wants to start hanging out with him outside of work.
Ooh. Okay.
Like, what's something that Crystal likes that hiking? Let's say it's hiking. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you like hiking now. I know you used to have the joke about it. Yeah. So she's like, hey, Manny, so I just want to see, she runs it by you. I want to know, is it cool? This weekend, Frank invited me to go hiking with him up at the blah, blah, blah. I know you don't really like hiking. You're welcome to come if you want. But if not, is it cool if, Frank invited me to go hiking? That's what, I guess that.
What is no? But you know what? I got my hiking
survey says
no. Yeah, I wouldn't let her go. And if it was that important to her to go, you better believe I'm gonna have my fucking hiking boots, a fucking pocket knife. I'm gonna have some shorts that look ridiculous. You know what I mean? Just like and I'm gonna have my dick hanging out the bottom of my.
You're gonna just use your dick as a hiking cane. Just stick it in there. Fucking like, what's up, Frank? You got one of these fucking extended versions? Yeah, or you don't tell her, you just go, oh yeah, no, sure, go ahead. Then they're up in the mountains, you're just in the fucking bushes, you jump out, hey, what's up, changed my mind, let's go.
Exactly. Let me ask you this. Is it hard for you to allow for your significant other to have a friend of the opposite sex who isn't gay, is single, and you know what I mean, looks like fucking, good
Maurice looking.
Chestnut. Yeah, looks like Maurice Chestnut wants to go hiking with your lady. So
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it would.
It's Morris Chestnut, right? I don't know. It's not.
What'd you say?
I said Maurice. I don't
know. You blackened his name up. Morris Wakanda Chestnut. Maurice Wakanda Chestnut. Yeah, so that would be, I mean, and this is actually going to play right into my next thing I wanted to go over. Yeah, so and I definitely don't like hiking. I was going to go hiking with this. I'll tell you this, I'll put it this way. Here's a kind of an example of something that happened way back when in a wee little town called Southwest Portland. I think I was around 20-ish, and I was dating this girl, Nicolasa, Filipino girl, very beautiful. And we were monogamous, we were serious, talking about marriage, maybe, 21-ish. And at the time I was living with my pops. I did not have a car. And she had I think it was a friend of the family that she grew up with. I was always close to her. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I was working at the time. I was going to college, maybe. I don't fucking, if I was working, I didn't have a lot of money, but I was living with my pops. Anyways, this guy that was a friend of the family, I never saw the dude, but he was taking her out, and sometimes her and her sister. She had a twin sister. So sometimes he would take them out and they would all hang out. Sometimes he would just take her out. And let me preface this by saying 1000% I totally trusted Nikki. I don't think she was doing anything. I don't think she ever would. I don't know this guy's intentions though. So that's one thing. The second, we finally had a talk. Like I feel weird telling somebody no. Like, here's how I put it to her, is like, I don't want to feel like I have to tell you that you shouldn't do that. I would want that you realize, because I was trying to look at it in reverse. So if some hot chick that I'm not messing with or whatever, but wants me to do something with her, just me and her, I got to think how would that make me feel if I was my girl. Right. And I wouldn't want that. So and the other thing I told her is I was like, look, he's able to do things for you that I can't right now financially, and that
Right.
fucking that crushes me. So every time you're going out with him and it's whatever you're doing, he's taking you out to dinner, or you and your sister out to dinner, or you're going to do whatever, I told her, I go, I 100% trust you, but it fucking kills me knowing that he's able to do things for you that I cannot. And I told
Yeah.
her all that, and she never did anything with him again.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
She's a good woman.
that's respect. Yeah. Yeah. Like, kind of another scenario, but kind of the opposite way was, I was dating this, the girl I dated for like 3 years who ended up cheating on me with the Korean store manager. Here on Love in Black or White, we just want to let you know that we love everybody and every race. I just wanted to make the point that this guy was an older Korean gentleman. And he
did she get a discount or something?
Oh yeah. So yeah, he owned the clothing store that he was the manager of the store we worked at. And he had cancer. He was a smoker, lived with his aunt. So it fucked with my head on so many levels when I was 22. I'm like, what the fuck? You're
like, I got all this young black dick.
Exactly what
you want that old Korean dick? My shit's in its prime. I use it as a hiking stick.
So anyway, so me and her, this is probably like
sorry, I was just this guy would follow you guys in the bedroom as you're fucking.
So
you no look you buy.
it's so fucking wrong.
I know. All right, sorry.
I'm so sorry, Korean people. So get this. So when me and her, probably like two years into our relationship, there was this girl that I was like in love with all through high school, was really good friends with her, even in my college years and kind of when we were dating. But the girl that I was kind of in love with, who never gave me the time of day before, she didn't like my new girlfriend, right? And my new girlfriend didn't really like her. So, I was still like, oh, well, fuck, we've been friends all this time, like 7-8 years before her. So I'm not going to just cut her off. So I remember, I'll never forget one day we were just hanging out at my place. And, me, I'm just being goofy. I had a blanket over me like Superman, and I jumped on my friend, and it was like, gave her a big hug. And then I went to go sit on the other couch and we were watching TV. And she said to me, she's like, you're such a fucking tease. And in my head, I was like, that meant I had a chance at some point. You know what I mean? And like, I didn't act on it because at the time I was telling myself, I was like, oh, you don't want to be like your dad. You don't want to just be like cheating on people, like be respectable. And if you're going to end it with somebody, end it with somebody. But, in retrospect, I'm like, God, I should have just done it because she ended up cheating on me anyways with the old Korean dude, so.
that actually kind of goes into one of the things I wrote that I wanted to cover. If you remembered like one of your first heartbreaks. Ooh. I remember one in high school, dude. I don't even, maybe I was like a freshman or sophomore, virgin. And it might've been younger. It might've been 8th grade or 7th grade. So let me just set the stage for people. So growing up, we've talked about this I never messed with girls really growing up. I right. In the sense of
it's mostly dudes, right?
Yeah. That's how we met. But no, I would be reading comics and I was playing sports. And then 8th grade, I lived with my grandparents, blew up, became the fat white dude in school. Then freshman year, moved away and or bounced around. I lost some weight, gained it back, but I think it was in 7th grade. I don't even remember this girl's name, but I remember the hurt. That's what's crazy. Yeah. It's like in poker, they say you don't remember your big wins, but you remember your big losses. Ooh. And I don't know if this was a big loss, but I remember the heartbreak at the time. There was this girl, she lived over by Maranatha Church, black girl, real pretty. And I had this huge crush on her to where like, I remember I had bought her like a dozen roses, I think. Again, I'm like in 7th grade, fucking nerd. And she had a boyfriend that she had broke up or they were separated. Again, we're all young. I think she was not a virgin though. Yeah. And she was like, they were in a separation period and me and her were talking and she was like, I don't know. And she had sex. Cause I remember she was like, I just got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm like, well, while you're trying to figure this out, cause she had like a week deadline. She was going to give it a week to think it out or whatever. Yeah. So I remember asking her like, okay, well, all I ask in this week while you're trying to figure this out, will you just not have sex with him? Cause I feel like that will, and again, I was a virgin. I didn't even kiss this girl. And then I remember after a week, I was like, so did you God, just me, little fat snot. Fucking. So, did you make a decision on what you're gonna do? And she was like, she obviously said it probably nicer this, but she was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with him. And then I remember, so that was the first heartbreak, like, oh,
Yeah.
and then dumb me, I was like, okay, well, you just I'll do it in the voice. Okay, well, will you just tell me this last week, did you have sex with him? And she goes, yeah, I did. Oh, you bitch. I don't remember this girl's name. I remember where she lived because I remember meeting her mom and everything, and her family loved me. I can't remember. I think it started with an M, but this is fucking like 7th grade. But I remember that pain, that fucking heartbreak.
Yeah, man.
Do you have one?
Same exact scenario.
You were the guy she fucked?
So, my first girlfriend, we were 14. We dated for like most of the year.
You were 30.
Yeah. So I ended up having to like move away, right? And that's when I went to Seattle, but we had made this like little promise to each other. We're like, hey, we're gonna wait for each other. You know, dumbass really thinking that somebody's gonna wait for you for a whole fucking, 2 years and shit. But I was like head over heels for this girl, and I never even kissed her. But she was like, I really like care a lot about you and all this stuff. And so I left. It was not even 2 months into the summer, right? Or not even a month into the summer. She was like, oh yeah, I slept with Travis. You know what I mean? Which was just a friend that she like was in her neighborhood.
But before you finish this, can I just say to the female listeners, I think I'll speak for all guys. I think I'm an every man.
Yeah.
When you just said that, I think every guy has felt that fucking punch in the stomach feeling. Yeah. Like if women, if you're like, oh, guys, I don't know if they experience. I mean, we may, as we get older, become a little more rougher around the edges of it. But dude, I fucking feel that in my gut. When you said that, I'm like, that fuck, God damn it. Why did she do that to you?
And that's the thing. I feel like when you were young, like, oh man, you're head over heels in love. Like I've seen dudes who were like thugs cry over girls. But when we were in junior high and high school, and I'm like, damn, that dude was just, I think he got shot like 3 times, but he was crying. You know what I mean? So,
and that was the one that hurt his heart. Not the bullets, this bitch.
Exactly. So, I mean, that shit is so like, I mean, it cuts you deep. So not only was there that one, but then the girlfriend of 3 years, that one was just one of those aches where my mom literally was like, oh my God, when you were home for that summer, I had never seen you so sad in my life. And there was nothing I could do to really help you. I tried everything. And, she was the one who was like, sometimes you just got to play this. And she put in Tupac. And I was like, okay, now I feel like
your mom's a stud. What a stud. That's dope.
Yeah. So, those were the 2 really big heartbreaks that like really just was like, damn. I mean, outside of that, there was one girlfriend where it was like we had broken up. And then by the time I was trying to get back together with her, she was over me. You know what I mean? And that one sucked. You know what I mean?
Isn't it crazy how like those feelings, like I said, I don't even remember this girl's name, but I remember the feeling, and it fucking immediately rushes back when she said, yeah, we did have sex during this week. I was in all these thoughts. I was like, you didn't even give me a chance. It's going to cloud your judgment. That dick is going to cloud your judgment.
Dude, 100%, man. It's so rough, especially when you're just a teenager. You know what I mean? Your feelings are in so many different places. And I'll tell you, it's like this. When you're that age, you're not even necessarily thinking about sleeping with people. Yeah. I just want to love this person.
Yes.
I remember,
dude,
there was this girl. Her name was Olga Mendez, right? And
what the fuck?
Yeah, she was.
Wait, she was a fucking German Mexican.
Yeah, and she was like elementary school. Just in love with her, and I never wanted to do anything more than just to be her boyfriend. You know what I mean? And like, you never think of him like I just wasn't thinking sexually back then. It is so it's like it's just wild when you hear that the person you were like in love with per se, and they're like, "Yo, I slept with this person." You're like, just fucking crushing.
Dude, I wonder where that. I mean, is it? I wonder if it's just after so many heartbreaks or getting heartbroken, and this is for guys and girls. I know women, experience this shit too. And I wonder, like, because I don't know, I you know, I would love to get that back, but I think there's maybe fear over the years of getting heartbroken. You build up fear, and so you put up walls, and because like, oh, dude, I don't know. I mean, there's so many options for dating apps and this and that. You're like, well, fuck, am I just the person you're talking to this hour, and then next hour you're talking to somebody else? So you're like, how open do I want to put my feelings out there with you?
Yeah,
fuck,
man.
dude, it's so crazy.
Last thing, just before, because I know we're coming close on time, but I just want to make sure that we actually got some fan mail to
yes, I just was and I'm putting if you look at the notes, Manny, I'm putting right now at the top the teaser for next week. I'm moving it up there right now. I just put it up there. Okay, so yeah, Carla, shout out to Carla Allen. Hope she was okay with us saying her full name. if not Carla, it's too late. She had some great ones. Okay. Why might a guy ghost a girl? Craziest breakup story you have been through and side chicks. So we'll start with that one, and we might carry some of Carla. You sent us a bunch of dope ones, so we may even have you as part 2 of these in our next episode, but we'll start with that. Why might a guy ghost a girl?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Because she's crazy. No. I mean, there's a few reasons that a guy might actually ghost a girl. Like, just from, I guess, my perspective, it would be that maybe she's too much and you don't, and she doesn't take like a breakup as an answer, or maybe the guy just sucks at breaking up with people, and that's his only way to, it's like the Hail Mary, you know what I mean? And if you don't know what the Hail Mary is, check out episode 11. Yeah.
Do you have you heard Patrice's bit about why men cheat?
No.
Oh, dude. I'm not going to be doing it justice, but it was something to the effect of like, just think this man goes out to get something that he's not getting in the relationship. He doesn't bring it to your attention. He doesn't tell you because he doesn't want to hurt you. He's like, how does he goes, cheating's not for us. That's for you. I'm doing no justice to that bit. It's fucking genius.
God,
but I mean, you could it's why do you ghost someone? I mean, if you're with someone, or I guess it also depends on the level of where you're at. Did you go out on one date and this guy you think he's ghosting you? Maybe he wasn't feeling it in the date for whatever reason, and he's like, well, this isn't going to go anywhere. So maybe his idea is just no point to continue a conversation or drag out this thing. So if you've been dating, 6 months and then all of a sudden he starts ghosting you, that I don't really know why. That's interesting. I mean, I kind of got ghosted, I think, by that girl I was dating, the bro chick. That's I mean, but see, it's like I will only do so much if I feel like I'm getting ghosted or whatever. Like I'll put out a couple of texts or whatever, and if I don't get a response, then I'm just like, all right, I won't really dwell on it. But Carla, I hope you don't think this is like a flippant answer, because if you're asking about like somebody you've been dating for a year, why would somebody ghost you? I mean, if they got another family and maybe that lady finds out about you, and you may not know it, but maybe you're a side chick and you have no idea. You just think you're in a committed relationship. Maybe his wife finds out about you and tells him, hey, this needs to stop today. I need you to stop today. Block her number, blah, 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 blah. That might be one reason. Excuse me. I'm trying to think.
There's so many different scenarios. I mean, like, you might not, wipe your ass completely. I don't know. You know what I mean? Not to Carla, but I'm just saying, like, if for somebody, you know what I mean, that could
start that rumor about Carla. Carla Allen, she don't wipe her ass. Sorry, Carla.
Yeah. But, there's so many reasons, but I would say this. I think for the most part, I want to say most of your answers are going to stem from the man just being kind of I hate using this word, but he's a pussy, and can't be man enough to actually address it and just break up, and
what's funny, Manny? And I was going to say, you could say coward, you don't want to be derogatory, the female genitalia. PCJ coming in.
motherfucking ass.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I don't know how you'll take this, Manny, but know
Mhm.
that this is because you are so nice, and I know you don't like confrontation and you want to please everybody.
Yeah.
I was thinking this might be something you would do only because, like, if you, I'm giving a wild scenario.
Yeah,
Let's say
yeah.
you're in an abusive relationship. The chick is
Mhm.
beating you or whatever. And you don't know how to get out of it. I could totally see you ghosting a girl. Really, you want to make fun of domestic violence, Manulus?
No.
Why would you laugh at that?
First off, I just have to say here on here on Love It Black and White, we just want to say we want to make sure that you are always in a safe and confined and happy relationship.
Confined? What? Like in a cage?
Trapped, in the closet, whatever your scenario. I'm just playing. But like I think you're 100% right. So for instance, I did ghost somebody, and it was because they didn't take no for an answer. You know what I mean? And it was like, you tell somebody, you're like, hey, not interested anymore, and they don't get the point. They keep texting you, keep bugging you, and so you're just like, look, you're not understanding where I'm coming from, and then you're just like, hey, bye. So and like you said, I'm the kind of person where it's like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and sometimes I think that it's a huge character flaw in myself. So I mean,
well, I mean, that, if you think about it, if a person doesn't like conflict and also they don't want to hurt someone, yes, ghosting a girl or ghosting a person is going to hurt their feelings. But also, if you ghost a person, you're not going to hear about them and their feelings getting hurt.
Right.
So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I would say this, Carla. I don't know if this is answering, like, I don't know if you had a particular scenario in mind, which you could email us at bigrishj.com or bigrishj@gmail.com, bigrishjay@gmail.com if you had a scenario specifically. But if somebody has ghosted you, Carla, this is what I would say to you: is that's on them. I wouldn't even trip off it. I mean, I'm assuming it would be somebody that it's not a majorly serious relationship. I would hope. But yeah, if somebody goes to you, then fuck it. That's on them. Fuck them. You move on and be like, all right, they're lost.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a scenario. Fuck. Okay. Dated 2016, got me a ring and proposed to me. I hope this is cool that we're reading this, Carla.
Yeah. And if not, we'll censor out the last name on there.
It's just gonna go out. What do you mean? She's fucked.
Next time, don't include your last name.
Luckily, I used a alias for Lakeisha. Oh, what?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Lakeisha. No, anyways. Okay. Last guy I dated in 2016 got me a ring and proposed to me. I probably should have noticed that I never went to his house. Oh, met his family or friends. But anyways, he always seemed to have good reasons for things. He told me that his mother died, his grandmother raised him, and that's fucking, so far that's me. So his grandmother raised him, and he was living with her to take care of her, but she wouldn't agree to meet me and my family. I watched too many true crime shows. It's awesome. So I looked up his grandmother's phone number, and my mom called her to find out what her problem was. Jesus. She claimed that she didn't know we were engaged and that she never said anything he told me. She was completely clueless. Jesus. After that, he wouldn't answer my calls, so I went to his job to talk to him. It was a whole thing, and I don't know whether he was already married, but I am now sure that I was a side chick. Oh, I had no idea. Okay, so that kind of goes to what I had mentioned earlier about, maybe he had you were a side chick and not knowing it, like this scenario, like you said, Carla, and maybe his wife found out, or somebody found out that was like, you need to stop this immediately. Right. And maybe some wives would be like, call her and tell her it's over, and some wives might be like, block her shit now, don't ever talk to her again, or we're done. So that might be that scenario.
I mean, a ring, I mean, that's fucking that's
yeah.
And it's like, maybe the only thing I could think of to try to give this person some kind of credit is maybe he thought he was getting out of the situation. But then again, why would you lie about, your mom, your grandma, all this stuff? That's a little bit crazy to me, but yeah, man.
I wanted, there's 3 other things here from Carla I want to do on the next one. I'm going to do one of hers. She asked, I'd like to know what you think about dating a woman who physically can't have children. Oops. Oh God, how do I undo that? Okay. Phew. So we'll do that one, and then the other ones, Carla, we're gonna do on the next one because you have some awesome ones. Thank you for sending those in. Dating a woman that can't have children. Excuse me, Manulus. Go.
Yeah. So for me, for dating a woman who can't have children, I think it would be tough because I want to have children, and that's something that me and Crystal talked about early on. I think if she were to say that she couldn't, I mean, that would be so hard to break up with somebody over something that they had no control over. That feels hurtful, to a certain extent. But then, to be honest up front, it's like I still would like to have kids. I don't know if it would.
What about adoption?
I mean, adoption's cool, but for me, I do want, to see
seed
DNA passed on, you know what I mean? And see what my kids are going to look like. So, maybe if there was an agreement.
They're going to look like a Korean grocery store owner.
Exactly. So, oh God.
I know, you're right. Oh, she took my roses and still fucked him. Oh God.
Fucking monster. But I think for me, maybe if we had some sort of agreement later on that it was, hey, we'll just have a surrogate and we'll use that person's eggs, and then maybe that could be an option. Although it'd be tough because it's like, if I'm with you, I want both. I want to see what we create.
Yeah.
I
think that's valid. Yeah. It's weird. We talked on a previous podcast that I always thought, by 30 to be married, kids, all that stuff, all that. And then, life takes a different path. I'm at a point now where, it's like, I think I want a kid, but it's weird because I almost feel like my biological clock is ticking. I mean, I think, okay, so for it to happen for me to have a kid, that means I have to meet somebody. Let's say I meet them today, and we have to build that bond. We have to build that relationship, that trust, that commitment. And then, and you don't know, like, is it 6 months? Is it a year from now? Is it 2 years from now? I'm gonna be 52, popping out a little fucking.
Yeah, man. Like, old dads, that's a rough one. It's like,
Okay, we don't have to go too far.
I mean, like, even with me, it's like I used to like play with my nieces and nephews and like carry them around like it was nothing. And now they want to do that shit, and it's like I'll throw up my back. So it's like,
Are they fat?
Well, they could be. But here we go on PC Manny stepping in here. I just want to say that here on Love in Black and White, we don't fat shame, we don't body shame. Whatever your body size is, it is perfect for you. Yes.
But as if I met my dream woman, and okay, well, I'm assuming Carla's saying in the scenario if you want kids. So let's say I've come to a decision in my personal life. I want to have a kid or multiple kids or whatever. I just haven't met that right woman. And then I meet a woman and she cannot physically have kids. Right. It's hard for me to put my mindset in that I want kids 100% because I feel like I would have to get there after I meet the right one. But I would, if this is my dream woman, if she's perfect, she can't have kids, then I would be like, okay, so I always think of things very analytical and like a math problem. Like, okay, so the issue is we can't have kids conventional way. Okay, so what are the scenarios or ways that we get around that or resolve it? So adoption, artificial insemination, surrogate. So I would look at those other options and go from there. But it wouldn't change my love of her or make me want to not be with her. None of that. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, I was actually going to say that we actually have a friend, not to name drop, David Allen Greer, who he's an older dad, and also, Donnell Rawlings of the Chappelle Show. They're older dads, and as much as they love being dads now, it's tough, like they said, to be the older dad, and it's like, I don't want to be the dude with bad knees and ice playing basketball.
I'm already there. Minus the basketball. This is old one. We've done how to handle flirting in front of you. We did that. Okay, so we're at the time right now. Carla, we have 3 more from Carla that we're going to do on the next episode, Carla. So you got to listen to the next one, Carla. Yeah. These are great. And again, before we get to our teaser for next week, if you have any questions, scenarios you want me and Manny to improv, we're always open to it. Two girls, we'll do two girls improv if you want. Any questions, anything, you can email me at Big Irish J, that's Jay, not just the letter J, Big Irish Jay @gmail.com. And anything you want to plug before we do our teaser?
No, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and follow us on iTunes. Tell your friends, Spotify, tell a friend, in the words of Todd Sanderson, who was a Houston comic. So anyways, I once again thank you guys so much for watching. That's
just kind of piggybacking off that, the feedback from everybody is everybody seems to be enjoying the podcast, and obviously we love, Manny and I love doing this. I mean, Manny's one of my closest friends, and I love Manny, and we tell each other we love each other after every phone call, and also after we fuck. No, it's always nice that when you're doing something that you love or that you enjoy with people that you love and enjoy, and then other people can vibe off that. Like, God, can you imagine if we were doing this? Nobody's listening, nobody's commenting, or the few comments are like, yo, this shit's whack. you all need 2 new hosts or whatever. Be like, this is the fuck, we started this shit. What the fuck?
Exactly.
By the way, I gotta flip my fucking, I just noticed this whole time my shit's not flipped. I gotta flip it. Flip you for real. It's because I got a new computer, so my shit's all fucked up.
Well, it'll be normal on the when you post it.
No, it won't. It's the fuck it. People will just be like, well, that's I guess didn't care. Anything I have to plug? Oh, when's your improv show?
December. I'll find out the date.
I'm just keep reminding you. Also, Manny is if you listen to also my other show, the Hollingsworth show, Manny is now a regular on it. Like we're doing, I think we're gonna keep that. We've talked about it. We're gonna keep the 4-person format. As long as everybody's able to do it on the times, but it'll be me, Manny, Phil Fox, as long as you stay sober, motherfucker, and Sean McCann. If you know, we love Phil. Only thing I'm plugging, I will be in Oklahoma City, December 10th through the 12th. I'm doing one show Thursday at 7:30, 7 or 7:30, and one show Saturday the 12th at 4:30, a day show, but it will not be clean. It'll be fucking slinging it. And that's at Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City.
Nice.
And with that, I'll give you the teaser and then we'll take off. So the teaser is next week. Have you ever dealt with a stalker?
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
and until next week, we'll keep
putting the love back in your right. It's love in black and white.
We put the love back in